Okay, shalom, shalom, everybody. Shalom. It is, I think it's Yud Bet or Yud Gimel. It's one of them. What's, anybody know?
Yud Gimel.
Yud Gimel. It's Yud Gimel Sivan Tafshin Pei Hey. June 9th, Monday, June 9th. And Reva Emuna, Seidel. Hi. Wow, this is such a beautiful group. Hi. So, Judy, can you just tell me how many weeks we're doing this? It's 8. Okay. Somehow I had in my thing 8 or 12 and I wasn't sure. Okay, so we'll up until Teshuva. Okay. So I just want to invite, if anybody wants to invite in any tzaddik, any tzaddikah, any one of the imachot, any spiritual master that you feel particularly close to. But let's do it just a little bit fast because I want to give you every minute that I can. There we go. Sorry, Mayna. Yeah.
Sorry, this is for you.
So this is a real thing, right? It's not just like a cute thing. It's a real thing that in the spirit world, there is no time and space. I
know it's always for you.
David Hamelech, whose yard site
We all have our
school.
will try my best. David Hamelech. Okay, please. Yeah. So this is a process called hiskashrus or hitkashrut. When we connect our spiritual bodies, right? And spiritual bodies are way easier to connect than physical bodies. Because their nature is connection. Nothing to do with chickens. Anybody last one? Yeah. Please. That's for your tape?
No. Or your side?
No,
Oh.
anything.
And now the Sarah Bas Razor with
You haven't seen me in a long time. If they come yet. Anything can happen over time, huh? Okay. So we're just going to take a minute to arrive. I probably am going to drop off into little low tones. So you, again, just go like this, and you'll remind me. Let's take my natural space, and I'm actually feeling a little depleted, so you have to remind me. Okay, but I will try my best, so I will water myself periodically. Okay, so I feel like I would like to give us a little kibun, a little direction, and I hope it's really going to be really blessed. And the reason I say that is because the way my Rebbe, which was Reb Shlomo ben Naftali Bepesia, Shlomo Karlbach, the way he taught me to prepare is you read every sefer on any topic that you want to give over, and you learn everything you can, and you pray about it, and then you let everything go. And you let Hashem speak through you. Okay, so particularly in this class, which is, I don't want it to be a heady class. This is not about more information. We have enough information. This is about coming into Eretz Yisrael, which is what Geula is. It's bringing all these teachings and practices into our bodies through breath, through meditation, through inner work. And I vote to not call it inner work anymore. Through inner presence, through inner meeting. And because this is such beautiful, deep work, I do want to just take a minute, just mamash a minute. I don't know some of you. And again, this isn't just information. This is about joining of souls. This is joining of hearts. This is generating healing energy within ourselves and amongst ourselves, giving it first and foremost to ourselves, and then it flowing out. Okay, so just mamash, just your name.
Sipora. Aura.
Noam.
Yeah.
Malcolm.
Wait.
Judy, Gabrielle.
And also back there, are you joining us? Okay, wait, I didn't. Okay. Jody,
Ina Teresa. Laura. Kayla.
That's Kaya.
okay, and Reva Emuna. Okay, thank you. Okay, so here did we skip someone? No, Judy said. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Ribono shel olam, root me in your presence. Let me remember who I am. Let me speak only what is true. And let what is not yet whole in me be held in rachamim. So I'm gonna take a pause here. I release the fear of being seen. I release the fear of being wrong. I release the story that I must be perfect to be worthy of love or trust. I call back every part of myself that was ever shamed for shining, punished for knowing, judged for being different. I call them home now. This is for you. This is for all of us. This is for me. Into safety, into light, into the arms of presence. Let this class and these teachings not be about me. Let it be about service. Let it be about the one who breathes through all things. Just say that. Let it be that this joined Torah learning and practice and meditations and breath work and embodiment be about the one who breathes through all things. May my words be gentle. May my heart stay open. May I speak from love and return to love again and again and again. And if I falter, let it be a doorway back to compassion. So I would like to set a kavanat halev. The goal of our learning is not to perform. It's not to learn more information. The goal of our learning is to be present with whatever is here. This is what we're learning. To open to love, to open to compassion, to be with this name of Hashem that is the code name of getting out of Mitzrayim, right? Moshe comes and says, what name shall I tell them is going to release them from these tight, constricted, hard, narrow spaces? And Hashem says, and I'm going to say the names because some people don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm just trying to get the candle to stay lit.
I'm a little afraid it's going to catch fire. Sorry. I'd rather it not today. Okay, it's okay if it goes out. Just not to catch fire. Thank you. Okay, Eheye Asher Eheye. The ever now, the unfolding of every moment. So beautifully, this is also the name in our tree of life of the respiratory system. Each name of Hashem is connected to a system in the body. I would like to give you that information very quickly, just so you have it in your notes, because it's definitely a way to start experiencing yourself as the tree of life. And all these names of Hashem pulsating in you and healing these systems and balancing these systems. Okay, so we're just going to do this quick. The name of Keter is Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, and it's the respiratory system. And so now plug that in and say that Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, you know what's going to get them out of Galus? Come on, say it. Breathing. Learning how to breathe. Breath is a memutza. It's a bridge. It's a connector between spirit and physical. It's a connector between, because we don't see the spirit world. That's not spirit. It's not spirit and it's not physical, right? Breath is the connector, okay, between these two opposite things called body and spirit. Okay, breath can only ever take place when in the now. Okay? So breath returns us to presence. Breath returns us to the present moment and meeting ourselves and Hashem right here, right now. Right here, right now, because that's where the Eitz HaChaim happens. The Eitz Hadat Tov Ra is when we're flung in our brain between the right brain, which is ironically the past. Just take it in for a second. And the left brain, the future. But the Das, the place that connects those two brains and integrates those two brains is where now happens. Okay, with me? Please, if it's relevant to what we're learning, just feel free to jump in. Yeah. This is your head, and this is the apparatus. And it fills your head, it fills the brain, it sends oxygen, it pulls in the Or Ein Sof, which is around us, right? The infinite united breath or air or energy. That's true on a physical level as well as on a spiritual level, right? Right? And Keter is the interface of where we take in something that's spirit, that's also breath. So yeah, does that make sense? Okay, again, thank you, Jody, for demonstrating that. Please, if you don't understand something, please, Ein Habaishan Lomed, right? We said that the one who's shy doesn't learn. So please just jump in, just ask for clarification. You could ask up to 101 times, okay?
Left brain goes past.
Pardon me?
Left brain past. Future.
Bina, because Boneh, Zolzi. Again, please, I apologize because the truth is, and I can't get into it right now, that the right brain rules the left half of the body and the left brain rules the right, blah, blah. So just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to call it the right half of the brain and left. Okay, it's not really true. Sorry. In other words, the tree crosses at many points. Okay, but for simplicity's sake, okay. Then it goes into the next system, which is das or da'at, consciousness, connection, knowing something in an embodied, connected way. Okay, not as a theory, right? But Adam yada et haba. It's visceral. It's an experienced knowing, right? That was the whole temptation from the Eitz Hadat Tov Ra. This belief that if I don't experience inside me, maybe I won't really know it or understand it. Okay, that's a whole other thing. Now, this is where it gets really good. So we have two trees inside of us. We have an Eitz HaChaim, and we have an Eitz Hadat Tov Ra. And guess what? The Holy Masters say, surprise! It's the same tree. It's the same tree. So when it's in the middle column, in other words, all the energy is flowing into us, whether the energy is actual oxygen or whether the energy is spirit, right? But as the energy enters us and moves in an unblocked flow, we call that the Eitz HaChaim, the tree of life. It's not obstructed and it's not flinging from polarities to polarities, okay? So we call it a Kav Yashar, which is part of why our name is Yisrael. Yashar El. It's an open, unblocked, present channel. Okay. So now we're going to say some of these qualities of the Eitz HaChaim, also known as, and we have many names for this, your Nefesh Eloki, your divine spirit, Chelek Elohai Mima'al Mamash, an actual, literal microcosm of infinite divine light. And it says mamash. This isn't an allegory. This is a real, we have this real, infinite, pulsating life force energy inside of us, pulsating inside of us. Okay. And we can, and again, many religions, many names for it. Vayom hahu yeh Hashem echad u'shmo. Okay, that has many names for what it is. That we're going to call it now. And in the IFS, internal family systems, we call it true self. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about spirit, this Eitz HaChaim, because this class is called Inner Intimacy, and it's about learning your tree and my tree and learning your system. This is a very foreign land to most of us, right? We know texts, we know books, we know things outside of us. We don't know this one and this land very well. And that actually is Geula, coming into Eretz Yisrael. This is it, coming into the Holy Temple. Here it is. Okay, so much so that many of the Meforshim say that the Beit HaShlishi, it's a whole long thing that happens in the brain and the spine. Okay, so I want to give you some of these qualities of how do I know when I'm coming from my Nefesh Eloki, and how do I know when I'm coming from my Nefesh Behemit? You understand the question? How do I know when I'm coming from my true nature and true self? And how do I know when I'm coming from an extreme idea, an extreme belief, an extreme impulse, right? Otherwise known as the Eitz Hadat Tov Ra. How do I know when I'm coming from a regulated nervous system? Now it gets really good. So along come the holy masters and say, Da'as is the nervous system in the body. Doesn't that change everything to know that? So when we use words like Yishuv Hadat, Archavat Hadat, Pagam Hadat, we're talking in the body about the nervous system. Who knew? When we talk about the Eitz Hadat Tov Ra, we're talking about a dysregulated nervous system. That's what happened to Adam and Chava. Trauma affects Tov. Yeah. Well, the Tov Ra means that it's dysregulated. So let's say if we had the 3 attachment styles, we have anxious, avoidant, and disorganized. Disorganized is when it's like sometimes it's steady and then it's not steady and then it's not blah blah blah, as opposed to Yishuv Hadat, the Eitz HaChaim. The Eitz HaChaim means I'm in continuous, peaceful, compassionate connection. The Eitz Hadat is I'm going in and out, in and out. 1 second I'm present, the next second I'm in parts. 1 second I'm right. I know what my true nature is, and I know that the only life that's ever happening is right here, right now. And then I forget again. It's not crazy. 5 seconds later, I forget. And I forget who I am. I forget what I am, and I forget to breathe. And I'm triggered out of my mind, right? Oh, this person said that and they looked at me like that, or blah blah, right? And I'm lost again. Eitz Hadat Tov Ra. So we're gonna start learning how to catch when I fall into the Eitz Hadat Tov Ra, and then gently, keyword, and Rachamim, right? Come to the Eitz HaChaim. Okay, so let me just give you the system, and we'll come back to this.
Eitz Hadat
Tov Ra. Tov Ra means I'm flinging between the polarities. That's what it means. I'm. Who said what? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, see, you have to remind me. Polarities, polarized energies, flinging. Rabbi Nachman calls it a kaf hakela, right? It's when my parts are driving the car. Some of them are like 5. You know what I mean? It's not what we Yeah, some of them are even younger. And as opposed to, right, when we say melech al kisei hakavod, sorry to break it to you, it's not about a big guy with a long, I mean, it could be about like the long white beard, right? It's when our highest consciousness is sitting on what's the kisei hakavod, the seat of consciousness. Who is driving our choices, right? Who is present, exerting leadership in the system. And right, FYI, we want the highest consciousness to be leading the system if possible. Okay, and we call that part, we actually have a code name, call that part Anochi, as opposed to Ani. It's code. When you see Anochi, it's hinting to you that it's Keter. It's the most God-like part of our consciousness. It's us. It's the infinite. It's the real us. Right?
Can you give an example?
Of what? Sorry.
Anochi. Like
Yes.
Torah or
Yes, absolutely. The Yud Gimel Midot Harachamim, the 13 principles of compassion. All of those words: tolerance, acceptance, unconditional love, compassion, slow to anger, seeing the good points, encouraging growth, encouraging sticking to the process and believing in the process of your own unfolding and becoming. Yeah, that good? Okay. Let's just go through the systems because it's just cool to know again your own land. So you're getting to know, like, if this was California, it was like, okay, here, I'm serious, like, here's the mountains and here's Palm Springs, here's like the desert, and then there's like sometimes there's snow, and then in the west there's like the ocean. This is also land. Okay. Now in my head, I have this land is your land. You cannot take these families out now. Okay. 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 So I see we have 35 minutes. So the Ikar is I want to take you into an actual journey inside yourself. Okay. So I don't want to just talk. So good. I'm going to give myself 1 more minute for the system. Please, God. Okay. So let me just take you through it fast. So Keter, respiratory system, Das, and just again, we're going to go over it so many times. So don't worry. But we do have something called Das Elyon and Das Tachton. Higher consciousness, lower consciousness, higher connection, lower connection. Don't worry about it for right now. It's the nervous system, okay? And the nervous system, begins, it has a high point, it has a low point. Again, just to be cool, we call the higher one Leah, we call the lower one Rechov. Those are actual places in your body. Those are actual energy systems. Great, fine. Okay, now we're going to go to your right brain. It's the name of Hashem Yah, Yud Hey, and it's the bone marrow. Okay, I'm just going to do this fast because I want to take you guys in. Left side of the brain. Now this is interesting. It's written Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey, but it's pronounced Elohim. Those are very deep secrets to why sometimes Hashem's names are written one way but verbalized another way. We're not, going to unpack that right now, but that's just what it is. And it's the blood. Okay? It's all the blood in your, you're going to start to make these connections that are just going to okay? Just to get your juices going. So that half of the brain, Bina, is about joy. It's about returning to the breath because it's Teshuva, Teshuva. It's about
this is the left side.
listening. It's about listening. Okay, it's about listening. So I just want you to start letting your juices flow, like makisha, between blood and listening and tshuva and joy. Okay, we don't know yet. Okay. Then we go into Chesed. It's the name of Hashem El, Aleph Lamed. It's a skeletal system, very intentional. Everything white in your body is about Chesed. It's about giving energy and sharing energy. Everything red in your body is about vurot. It's about receiving, holding, limiting, directing flow.
What was the first one before red?
White.
White.
Okay, so chesed, love, skeletal system, because everything's white. Yeah, okay. Left arm, Elohim as it's spelled. So, okay, so it's Elohim, spelled Elohim, and it's pronounced Elohim. Okay, and it's the circulatory system. I just hope this just starts to now. Why? Because so many of you who have learned with me for years, remember, you know how we always give the example with the garden hose and the shaf is coming in, but someone bends the hose, and therefore it's called dinim because it's blocking the flow. That's exactly why it's the circulatory system. It can open, it can direct, it can channel the blood through the body.
So what's the difference between the circulatory system and blood?
Blood is the blood.
The circulatory
Circulatory is circulating blood. Yeah.
Or the veins?
The veins, the whole vein system in the body. Exactly.
Arteries.
Yeah, all of it. Okay. Then we go to Tiferet. Tiferet is the heart. But you're going to notice that also lungs, right? So it's the lungs. Okay. So it's a couple of things. So let's just say with Tiferet, it's the cardiovascular system. The heart is there. It's also the pulmonary system because the lungs are there. And the Chachamim say it's also all of the musculature in the body is also Tiferet. Again, because you have bones, you have blood, and Tiferet is always about connection. Okay? That makes sense? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Right. So, and it's, and
like it's connected and you're lacking the balance between pores.
yeah, because muscles contract. They do both. They're Tiferet. They stretch and they contract. Okay, this isn't even the point. This is just an introduction. Okay, Netzach, the right leg, right? I'm so sorry. The name of Hashem of Tiferet is written Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey and pronounced Adonai. Now, why do I care? Because now when you look into Siddur and you say a bracha, you understand that you're sending energies to parts of your bodies, to different organs in your bodies. When you're davening, you're drawing in divine energy, infinite light, or Ein Sof, not just in some spiritual way, into specific systems in your body, into specific organs in your body, and bringing in divine light there through these specific kalim, these specific names. Isn't that cool? I think this is so cool. Okay.
We
Sorry.
have right arm.
We did right.
She said before that we're leveling.
Could we turn off the air conditioner?
Yeah.
Then
we give them a flame.
Whatever it is, I'm not giving 1 minute of my class. Whoever wants to turn it on, off, whatever. Okay, ready?
Right.
Right arm skeletal, chesed.
Yeah.
Left arm, we said circulatory system, and we said it's Elohim, both written and pronounced Elohim. Yeah, so far so good?
Yeah.
Okay. Endocrine, are you waving at me?
No.
Oh, okay. Endocrine system. Netzach, yes. So, a little tricky. Written Yud Hey Vav Hey Sefakot, right, with an aleph, right? Yud Hey Vav Hey, and then Sadi Bet Aleph Vav Taf. Okay, but pronounced Adonai Tzeva.
Do that again.
Yes, Yud Hey Vav Hey, and then Sadi Bet Aleph Vav Taf, but pronounced Adonai Tzevaot. Okay, and that's the endocrine system. It's all the hormones and in the body, and all the hormonal system in the body. It's what Netzach is the force that turns blood into, literally turns gvurot into chasadim. That's magic, right? To take blood and turn it, like our brother, he turned, what did he do? Turned water into wine, right? Hashem and Moshe Rabbeinu turns gvurot into chasadim, turns blood into milk. Part of the secret of Shavuot. Okay. And then we have the left leg, Hod. It's the name of Hashem. Elohim Sivo. As you see, Elohim is going down the body, right? Left side, it's all about contraction and constriction. And the right side is all about expansion. And the middle column is all about harmony and balance and integration. Okay, so you get the figure 8 like this, right? There's a side that's receptive, there's a side that's giving, and there's a side that negotiates and keeps the harmony and the balance and the integration of the two.
So, challenge, right? So Netzach is right.
Rightly.
And that turns the blood into milk.
Yes. Well, not the right leg.
I know,
But
but
yeah.
the endocrine system.
No. I mean, it's good to, we don't know our system. Yeah, the endocrine system. Okay. Oh, the left leg. Name of Hashem is Elohim Sivaot. And it's the immune system. It's the system that keeps out, bad bacteria or infectious, okay? Okay, Yesod is, of course, the reproductive system. And there's two. The masculine version of Yesod is the name of Hashem, El Chai. Aleph Lamed, and then Chet Yud, El Chai, the God of life. But also El means to go toward. So, right, it's a masculine side of the reproduction, which is the giving of the seed. Okay? The feminine side of the reproductive system is Shakai, Shaddai, Shin and Dalet Yud. And you'll notice that Shaddai is the same word as Shaddai, as breasts. So it's the feminine, everything connected to the feminine reproduction, giving of life. Right? So far, so good. Now I want you to start playing this week and notice when we walk by a mezuzah that it says Shaddai. Why? And why is it on a doorway? What is this? Oh. There's constant messages of Shiviti. I, God, am here with you. I'm here. You walk through and you see a mezuzah, okay, we go, like, it's kind of like a chew. It's just like, it's a thing we do, but it's a meditation to connect in with that energy of Shaddai, specifically as I'm moving from one room to another, one state of being to another, one set of circumstances to another, one piece of consciousness to another. Oh God, you're still with me. You're still here. I'm birthing something. I'm okay. Good. Malchut is the name Adnut. Aleph and Dalet and Nun and Yud. And it's got a couple of systems. It's the skin. It's the skin of the whole body. Okay. It's the upper mouth and the lower mouth, otherwise known as the womb. Okay. And the systems in the body, it's digestive and eliminatory. Because Malchut is always about taking something in, it undergoes some kind of transformation and process, and then it comes back out. It can come out as a song, it can come out as a baby, it can come out as waste from our body, that the food that wasn't absorbed into the body. Okay. Yeah. Adnut, yeah. Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud. Now, the Sephardim know this. Okay, you open any Sephardi Sidur, and it's got all these Yehudim and all. Why? Because it wants you to embody these prayers that, oh, now I'm dealing with my reproduction system. Oh, now this is about my blood. This is about bringing God into my blood. This is, right? This is the, why? What's the main thing of being Mekubal? What do they do all the, besides going to the Ari Mitzvah?
Connect to Hashem.
Yes, connect to Hashem, that it's called Yehudim. What is Yehudim? Unifying polarized energies and making peace between them. That's what Mekubalim do all day. Okay, That's exactly what God does all day, right? Remember that, Gemara? What does God do all day? He's mezavig zivugim. He's making matches. He's putting together things that got separated. That's what Hashem does all day. That's what the Mekubalim do all day. Yichudim. So far, so good. Okay. So now I want to give you guys an actual meditative experience. So let's just finish this 2 minutes of this intro. Okay. So in our own system, there is a tree of life. And I want us all to become familiar with this tree of life, because when we say galut, what we mean is being disconnected from the constant awareness of who we really are and what we really are. And we forget. We think we're a body. We think we're a temporary thing. We think that we're a thing that someone could harm by insulting or looking at us the wrong way, or like we forget who we and what we are. So let's talk about this Eitz HaChaim, okay? We're going to leave systems here a little bit, okay? This is my favorite teaching. I say this to myself at least once a day, okay? And this is from Internal Family Systems, but it's, and again, I have pages here of sources, because I know some people don't trust anything unless it's sourced. And I have compassion for those parts. I went to Beis Yaakov, so I have the sources, but I'm not going to give them to you now because I want to give you an actual meditation. Okay, so you're just going to have to trust me that what I'm saying is true, or don't trust me, whatever feels good for your parts. But here we go. Okay, so divine spirit, nefesh Eloki, chelek Elohai mimal mamash, true self, has the following qualities. This is what I'm begging you to write. Make this part of your daily spiritual practice, this reminder. It's in everyone. It's in everyone. Everyone has a spirit. Every being has a spirit. Every being has a soul. We know as Jews, we have the 5 levels, right? Here we go, right? So it's in everyone. It cannot be wounded, damaged, or broken. So when I say I'm a broken person, that's not accurate. That's not true. I have parts that feel broken, and it's very important to start using this language to distinguish the ayin, the shivim umot olam, that every being has, these 70 parts of psyche, of energies, of midot. Okay, meaning the Holy Masters say it's levushim, it's energy garments, but it's not my energetic core and essence. For example, okay, physical sensations in my body is the garment of a body. It's not my core and essence. We know because this is going to be buried in the ground, hopefully, compassionately, and my spirit is going to continue its journey, right? So the body is a garment. It's me, but it's not my core essence, okay? It's an expression of my core essence. And then I have my whole emotional body, all my impulses, all my cravings, all my desires. And we call that the midot, or the emotional body. It's again a levush, it's a levush. It's not my core. What does this mean? It means it's a daily reminder. I am not the physical sensations in my body. There's an I that feels the physical sensations in my body. There's an I that notices the physical sensations in my body. Can you hear the difference? Okay. So there's an I who's compassionately noticing that, oh, my muscle is a little tight here, or right, but I'm not that tight muscle. There's an I noticing that. Okay. Same for the mental body, right? All my beliefs about what's possible for me, who I am, men are always blah, blah, blah. Women always blah, blah, blah. Gentiles are blah, blah, blah. Jews are, right? Those are not true. Those are constructs, okay? Beliefs that we have inherited or we have built over our lifetime. So thoughts and beliefs and ideas. again, a levush, a garment. We are not our thoughts. Now, just try that on for a minute. We are not our thoughts. We are thinking thoughts. Rev Ashlag says it even more wild, and he says Hashem is thinking our thoughts. Just try that one on. And okay. So now, if we are not our physical sensations, that doesn't mean, by the way, to abandon yourself and dissociate. It means that there's a compassionate, eternal me that's in relationship with my body. There's a compassionate, eternal me that's in relationship with my feelings, my impulses, my desires, my cravings. There's a compassionate, eternal me that's in relationship with my thoughts and my thinking patterns. So now you start to hear that it's all relational, and all these relationships are going on inside of here. And the state of those inner relationships is the state of my presence. So if they're warring and they're not getting along, then my presence is warring and fractured. And it's called galut. It means I'm exiled from certain parts of my own self and certain parts of my land. And I like parts and I hate parts. And you can feel what that does. And so we call it an internal family. And the language of Kabbalah, we call it the Palmalia Shalmala. And it's cute because Palmalia sounds like Italian or familia. It's the familia Shamala. Guido. Okay, so and the Holy Master saying that all these beings live in us. There's a grandfather archetype energy that lives in us, and he's called like Atik Yomin, and there's a grandma energy that lives in us, and these different ones, they're real, and they're not. This is not imagination. These are energies, and they embody specific archetypes, and they live in us. Okay. The supernal family. So we call them Abba, Ima, right? The young son, the young daughter, right? Okay. You had a question? Okay, so now hi. This is full circle. Okay. First Shabbos my parents ever kept was at Olivia's house. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so let's go back to the Nefesh Eloki. It cannot be broken or damaged or wounded. Just take that in for a second. Real you cannot be broken or damaged or wounded. Okay? It's in everybody. It's just under the surface of these Shivim Umot, these Shivim Panim, these 70 parts. Right? So just under our physical sensations, our emotions, and our thought body is this Nefesh Eloki, this eternal one. And here's maybe the most important point. It knows how to heal. It knows it's a piece of Hashem in us. Okay, so we're just going to say it again. Okay, it's in everybody. It can't be damaged or broken or wounded. It's just under the surface of our parts, meaning our physical sensations, our emotions, our cravings, our impulses, our desires, our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas. There's a compassionate, eternal presence. And that's the real us. Welcome to your real you. Okay, so far so good? Okay. So we have a couple of goals in this learning that we're going to do together. Goal number 1, you're going to meet some of your parts, some of your Shivim Panim, some of your 70 faces of your own Kamalia Shalmala, your own inner family. The physical sensations in you and what they're telling you and how they're bringing messages from the divine. Your emotions, impulses, cravings, desires also have lots of information, lots of things they want to share with you about their experiences and what they need, what happened to them, how they got stuck, how they got wounded, what they need from you to come back into connection and wholeness. your mental body and thoughts, beliefs, and ideas about the world and yourself. We call them those in the language of Kabbalah, the Shiv'im Umot, or the 70 faces. Okay, not an ayin. Now you'll notice Kabbalah loves to switch out ayin and aleph, right? Like, for example, we have this kutonit ol, this garment of light with an aleph, and then we got into parts, and so we got into kutonit ol, skin, right? And we have so many of these, right? The aleph is true self when we're in the divine spirit, bodily soul. The ayin is when we're in parts. So far, so good? When we're in parts. How is everybody doing? Okay, are you
warm?
a little warm? Oh,
Just me having a hot flash?
so the actual halacha is if it's the summer and someone's warm, you turn on the air conditioner. It's the winter or someone's cold, you turn on the heater. Okay, again. Okay. I'm not giving 1 minute. Okay, ready? Here we go. Okay, so this is taken from IFS, Internal Family Systems. However, this is exactly what Rabbi Nachman says. And again, if you need all my sources and notes, you're welcome to contact me, call me, whatever. I'm even happy to put it together as a syllabus for the class. I just don't want to take time doing sources, okay? I just want to give you the actual yumminess. Okay, so here we go. When these 8 energies are present in our system, we know that we're moving from the Nefesh Eloki, the divine soul, the higher consciousness, what we said before, the Melech al HaKisei HaKavod, right? In other words, we want to put the Adam, we want to put the highest part of us on the Kisei HaKavod, which is on the seat of consciousness. So they are leading the system. Because it's a little scary when we let a 5-year-old lead the system. Like, I mean, my little 5-year-old is, you remember her. She's a little crazy. Okay, she's a little wild, right? So like when we say put the Adam or the Melech on the seat, on the Kisei HaKavod, what we mean is which consciousness now is guiding and leading the tree, the system. Nefesh Eloki. Okay, so when we're in the Nefesh Eloki, it's going to have these qualities. The first 2 are the most important, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. The first is curiosity. Curiosity is all of these are tiferet energies, right? If they're not polarized, they're not polarities. What's the opposite of curiosity? Judgment. Curiosity means I'm open. I don't know who this person is or why they do what they do or why they said what they said. I'm open. As soon as there's that openness, tiferet, connection, das, can happen. If I decide they're this, that's the left side. I've passed a judgment. Connection is closed. There's nowhere to go because I decided. I know them. I know that, blah. Okay? So curiosity opens the gates of tiferet, of das. Okay? I don't really know who they are. I don't know why they do what they do. I don't know what happened to them in the past to make them show up like this, right? I was working with a client this week. She changed my life. Literally, she said to me, I wrote it down, and I say it to myself now every day, if I knew this person's pain, I could never judge them for anything.
Still doesn't give them the right.
No, it doesn't mean we don't have boundaries. It just means we're not judging. We can say, this is the boundary I need in order to be protected in this space. But I'm still holding that they have enormous pain. And as soon as I hold that, even energetically, there's a possibility for them to get unburdened from that behavior or how they're showing up.
Would you say it again, please?
Which part?
Knew.
If I knew this person's pain, I could never judge them. I've been saying that to myself all week. And also, by the way, please go this way. If I knew this person's pain, also I would all I could do is just be nice to her because she's been trying really hard for a really long time. Right? Okay, so we're just gonna do this really fast. I'm not gonna push my boundary my first day back, but I really want to. Okay. So proud of myself. Okay, here we go. Okay, curiosity, right? So it says, this means being open-minded and wanting to understand things instead of judging them. In the tree, we call this Bina. That's why Bina is connected to Simcha and it's connected to Tshuva. Because Bina is the quality of Bina. Hi. That's Bina, is understanding. And the curiosity opens Bina, right? I want to understand where this person's coming from and why.
Ask a question. If that's true, women and women.
They have Bina, but we have Bina to Sarah.
Oh.
They have Bina. It's hard to find.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, ready? Compassion. Okay, this is the compassion. It's all about being kind and understanding, especially to our own feelings of hurt and sadness. Okay, now I don't mean compassion. Pity is not the same as compassion. Okay, compassion means like I truly have empathy for this parts or persons, including my own hurt and sadness. Now, why do I want to share this? Okay, because these two qualities become the sod of a return to chibur or connection or the middle column. These are the foundational energies of the middle column. Without that curiosity and compassion, the gates are closed. There's no way to bring shalom into the system, right? As soon as there's curiosity and compassion, so Bina opens in curiosity and Tiferet opens in compassion, right? And then there's spaciousness and there's a possibility for new flow and new life, to the new Or Ein Sof to come through. We're opening, we're making space for Or Ein Sof to come in. Okay, the third one, calm. Not pretending you're calm. That's a part. Actually being calm. Okay, this is about feeling centered and peaceful inside, even when things are tough. Right? There's a certain calm and a certain peace. Clarity. I know I'm going fast. Sorry. It's like having a clear picture of what we want and who we are, which helps us know where we're going. Okay. Again,
From what aspect? Calm.
All of this is this middle calm.
Okay, got it.
Okay, is this energy of what we're calling the kava emtsai, the middle. Courage. This means being brave enough to face our fears and explore our feelings. Okay. We could literally, and I mean this, we could literally do a year's course on this. I literally haven't done one page yet, and I probably have like 50 pages here. This is infinite, but we're just going to do what we can do. Okay. Confidence is believing in ourselves and knowing we're worth it, even when we feel unsure.
Even when we feel injured.
Unsure, but I like injured too. Yeah, that works. Creativity. The self is full of new ideas and ways to express ourselves. You're going to notice these are all middle column qualities, right? So does creativity, right? I start with C. We just call just to have a code. They're called the 8 C's. Okay. Connectedness, feeling connected to ourselves and others and the world around us. So these are codes, energy codes that we know we're in the kava emtsai. So we know we're in presence. We know we're in the tikkun. We know we're in geulah because we're being with, we're allowing, we're facing, we're inviting, and that allows life, right? And a new perspective, a new connection, a new experience. Are we so far so good?
Should take an extra 10.
Really? Okay. Okay, so I'm inviting everybody. Yeah. Okay. So I hope to give you a taste of 2 meditations. Because now I have 12 minutes because you said an extra 10, which, right? Yeah, we did. Okay. So just if someone wants to but doesn't need to, we could just shut off the lights. You don't have to. If they're near, just if they're near someone. Okay. You know me. Okay. So I would just want you guys to get a taste of the work that we're going to be doing. Sorry, I'm calling it work again. Of the exploration, the adventure, the entering into Eretz Yisrael. This is literally what Moshe Rabbeinu was davening for, right? To be to the full geula of the unification of the divine spirit in the physical. So finding the divine spirit in physicality, in breath, in movement, in eating, in our inner worlds of our physical bodies and our emotions and our thoughts. Okay, here we go. Close your eyes. I'm not looking at anybody. Okay. So I'm inviting you to just do a scan of your body and your mind and just kind of notice what happens in there. Okay? So just first just take a breath to land in your body, to land in this moment. Just to be, it's very helpful if you can to uncross your arms and legs. It just allows for an unobstructed flow. You don't have to if it's not comfortable. So just notice. We're going to begin with the physical body. You just notice what you notice. Notice any places of pressure or stiffness or soreness in your body. Maybe some kind of pain or other sensations that they don't seem quite like you. Something feels tight or off or throbbing or stuck. Just noticing what you notice. Or you might notice thought patterns. You might notice your thoughts keep turning to something. You might notice an impulse, an emotion. We're just going to do a kind of inventory of what's going on in your body and in your mind, right? So these are what we call trailheads. And if you were to pick one of these and focus on it exclusively for a little while, yeah, this is called a trailhead. Okay, so we're gonna just now choose one. It can be a physical sensation, it can be a thought. There's no getting it right or getting it wrong. Just gently choose one. If we would focus on it for a little bit, you would follow that trail to the part from which it's emanating. Okay? These are all manifestations of different parts of you. So it could be manifesting in a physical sensation. It's a part of you that wants your attention. It's letting you know it's experiencing something. It needs something. It's like a child. It could be a thought. It could be a feeling. So these parts are using these sensations to get your attention. And that's part of what I'm going to have you do. Any of these like agitations or any fogginess or anything like that, just like it kind of doesn't feel like you, like clear you. I'm going to invite you to focus on it and then notice where it seems to be in your body. And just kind of breathe into it. And then also see if you can notice the you who is noticing it. See if you can kind of toggle and notice there's a sensation or there's a thought, feeling. And then there's you who's noticing this sensation. And so in that sense, you're helping this part of you know that it's not alone. This is the core of all this. Anochi itcha b'tzara. I am always with you. Whatever you're experiencing, there's an I, there's an Anochi who is there compassionately witnessing. And it's very intentional that we start to build this bridge and the connection with the part that there's you witnessing that part. So the part's not alone. So just that the part starts to notice whatever it's holding and going through and feeling, it's not alone. Because many of these parts that are floating around in there and they're feeling very isolated, that the weight of the world is on them, or they're alone, or there's no one coming to rescue them or hold them or love them or accept them. Many of these parts are very lonely, not knowing about you, this divine spirit, this divine soul, this piece of God that lives in there with them and is always right there with them. And it's only when you focus on them and you extend this kind of compassionate and loving energy to them, you can actually feel you. Just take a moment to notice that there's a you that's having an experience of a physical sensation or a thought feeling. And there's a you noticing that part. And see if the you noticing it can send that part love and compassion for what it's going through, what it's experiencing. And they can begin to actually feel you and actually know that they're not alone. And that there is somebody in there that cares about them. So that's what this first exercise is about. It's really just helping you to extend that energy and notice how the part reacts. Notice if it might soften a bit or shifts a little. Or you might notice that there's a block and you can't extend compassion to it. Other parts are not letting you extend compassion. And the block would actually be another part of you that doesn't want you to extend compassion, and that you can just notice that too. Some parts don't like each other, just like in human families. And it doesn't like the original target part for some reason. So if that's the case, you can just shift to a different sensation or thought pattern or something and try to extend compassion and care to this other one, if the parts will let you. Letting the first one know that you're gonna do some work and get back to it at some point. So again, this is a general exercise to get started, where you're noticing, similar to mindfulness, you're noticing all of this, what's going on in there, but it's different from mindfulness because you're not just observing, you're actively extending love and compassion to what we think of as sacred inner beings. Remember, Hashem created all these physical sensations, all these feelings in you, all these thoughts in you. And they're not just random thoughts and emotions or sensations. They're actually emanations from these sacred inner beings who are deserving of your love. And even parts of you that drive you crazy. You're going to start learning that they need your presence and your compassion. These parts aren't what they seem. They're desperately trying to help, even though they might be misguided. So for now, we're just letting them know we get that. from this place of the Nefesh Eloki, we're just sending them all the suffering parts inside of us, the ones that feel anger and shame, and rage and jealousy and unworthiness. Maybe they feel exhaustion, maybe they feel confusion, maybe they feel disconnected. We're just sending them all love and compassion and letting them know that a connection has been made between you, divine soul, eternal you, and these ones who are suffering inside of you. And as you do that, you might get information from some of these parts about things they want you to know about themselves. That's not the main purpose of this exercise. It's really just to remind them that you're there, that you care about them, and that they're not alone in that sense. And as you do that, you might notice less chatter inside, like some of the little characters. If any of you see the Inside Out movie, the little pieces inside the brain, anyway, they're calming down. And some of them may even go to sleep. So there's more space in your mind and in your body. This can become a really simple practice. It's just quickly reminding parts that you care about them and they're not alone. So if you find yourself in shame, you go to the shame and you say, I'm here. I'm not the shame, but I'm noticing the shame. And I'm here with you. And notice what happens in your body and your mind as this you, this highest loving consciousness, this divine soul, goes to these parts and says, I'm here now. You're not alone. I'm here. I'm going to help you. Many of these exercises can become part of a daily practice. And these parts are real beings, and there's a you that can offer them presence and compassion. And I have one more minute, so I just want to end with this piece from Rechov. And this is what he says. Glasses.
You need glasses.
I have my glasses, but anyone have reading glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. And this is, just take this idea. And so this is from Harav Abraham Yitzhak. Thank you. And he says like this. I'm going to read you two pieces. Okay. Three teeny little pieces. Okay. I have 1 minute left. Okay. When a person really wants to be a really whole, integrated, elevated being, it's actually difficult for a person to make mistakes and have to keep repairing and make mistakes, and because the being wants to be this elevated, perfect being who always stays in perfect, compassionate connection. Al ken ra'ui lo la'adam shetamid yasime libo et ha'she'ifa liyot bal tshuva. And Rav Kook says, so what's really healthy for the system is let go of the desire, the will to be some perfected, elevated being. That actually causes stress in your system. And instead make your goal to be a being that catches the fall and turns back towards repair. A Baal Tshuva. Baal Tshuva means a master of return. Catch yourself, notice what happened, and then turn back and repair. Turn towards love again. Turn towards compassion again. Turn towards connection again, right? We call it rupture and repair. And he says, שקוע ברעיון התשובה ושואף להתגשמותה המעשית, ואז תוכל תשובתו להרים אותו למעלה עד מידת צדיקים גמורים ולמעלה מזה. And he says, and then your system is in joy, because the goal isn't ever to be perfect. The goal is to have the humbleness and the ratzon to meet the rupture, meet the mistake, meet the misalignment, meet the fall, meet the lesson of it, receive the lesson, thank the lesson, let go of the shame and the guilt, and then turn back towards connection. Okay, and then Rivka continues. Oh wow, okay, literally one more minute. This is really important. This is what we're talking about now. The one who is in constant state of pain because of their own perceived flaws and their own perceived mistakes and their own regrets. Their spiritual practice, the one who is in pain around their choices, around their mistakes, around their regrets, and he says both of themselves and the world. This spiritual practice is not judgment or criticism, perfectionism, or trying harder. The spiritual practice is to be in a constant state of, I'm sorry, I forgive you, I believe in you, I have compassion on your experience. This is Rav Kook. And he says like this, and he says, and extend this to the world every night when you get into bed. Right? We extend this to all beings. Part of me is mad at you. Part of me is afraid of you. Or part of me doesn't want to fix this. I let that part be. I'm not forcing. But also from my divine higher soul, I know that I don't know anything about your pain and what you've been through, and I forgive you. Okay? And he says this is a really deep spiritual practice. And through this, a person draws the light and unconditional love into all of reality. It's not just about me and this person. When I do that, it says a channel opens that draws unconditional love and sweetness and connection into all reality. Okay, it's literally 3 lines. And brings joy to the Creator and joy to all of creation. And in the beginning of this practice, we have to begin this way. Don't worry about so much other people in the beginning of the practice. It's to keep telling this one, I'm sorry, I forgive you, I believe in you, I have compassion on you, I'm here now, I'm here. I'm not going to abandon you because you make mistakes. I'm not going to abandon you. I'm higher consciousness and I'm here to help you grow. Okay, last piece. And he says, when we keep doing this spiritual practice to forgive this one, it becomes easier and easier to forgive these ones. Right? It doesn't mean we don't want alignment and to do better. We're not saying, oh, I don't have to take accountability and try to make amends. We're just saying, you did your best, learn the lesson, make an amends, elevate, and come back into love. Okay, last line. V'chol hakarov karov kodem al anfei shorshav mitzad neshama ve'al mishpachto ohavav doro umato olamo v'chol olamim. And he says, and there's these concentric circles, and this is what we're going to be learning and practicing, right? And the ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha, that we the ve'ahavta in tachlis. This is what he's saying. It begins with slicha u'mechila, and he says that is the ahavta. That every day say, talk to yourself. You're doing great. I love you. I believe in you. You've got this. Okay, you made a mistake. We're going to figure out how to repair. We're going to learn. We're going to elevate. It's okay. You don't have to run away in shame. I'm here. I see you. I love you. And he says, and then there's the last line. He says, and then the concentric circles grow. And he says, Akarov hakarov tamid. So start with the one closest to you. So he says, start here. And then maybe, your mother, father, or your children. It says karov, karov. And then those circles expand to your family system, and then your community, and then your nation, and then the world. right? But it moves, it has to begin with this one. Okay, so we're finished for today. Just any last, anyone just have any question, not a long question, but need something just clarified. And if not, catch me after the
I would
class.
really like to pick up of these different, like, that you just might do the, coordinates.
Well, okay,
Yeah,
let's just first finish the Zoom. If there's no like direct question or any needs something clarified that's relevant to the class. No, okay. So
Thanks.
okay, we'll do this. Okay, the Zoom